It's an absolute blessing to be with you this morning, and especially following both Kevin and Bud there. Some incredibly big concepts, one of which I know for myself being in business, sometimes you can walk away going, how do I step away from this and implement this back into my life and or my business? And so I'm excited to be partnering with Mercy today to provide an enhanced support to those participating. And so as you heard from both Kevin and also Bud, they've introduced some incredibly big concepts, purpose, and sort of the why type curriculum that I think any small business would stay busy for months, if not years. And so my hope is to partner with those that may see a need within your own business to help understand your immediate needs, so you can prioritize your efforts, so you can put your resources behind those efforts and then get focused in a way that you know a yes is a yes because it makes sense for your business, and a no is a no because you have the clarity of your purpose, your plan, and also the routine to get there. So I'd like to just spend just the next 10 minutes just sharing a little bit about my story and also why I'm passionate about serving the needs of small and medium-sized businesses. Well, just to introduce myself, I consider myself a pastor's kid and a son of a farmer. My dad was a pastor and also a farmer of an 8,000 acre farm that's been in our generation for about five generations. I'm an identical twin. Some of you may know my identical twin that lives in Salem there. And I'm the oldest of four boys. In terms of my story, I've tried to lead my life by two secondary principles behind the primary principle of loving my God. And the first is really, if we had a visual up here, is based on the verse out of Proverbs 27 that as iron sharpens iron, let one man sharpen another. And I've been blessed over the years to have many men and women in my path speak into my life and provide the wisdom that had provided some success both in understanding my Lord and also within the business place. And so as an oldest child, I was always in a place that had more of a innate drive to succeed. And the Lord blessed me to have the courage to always pursue challenges that were beyond my means, and also to be intentional to those that I interact with. And so I'm always reminded, my grandfather used to remind me that there's no such thing as a second first impression. So make that first impression an impacting one. The second one is principle is based on my time in Poland. And I had an opportunity to speak to a couple of you. And so some of you know my story. My family, we lived in Poland, and what an incredible nation of people that have been through such centuries of suppression. And so I left with such a strong, profound belief of everything is possible. And in their language, Wszystko jest możliwe, which is everything is possible, is really at the roots of how we led business in the region. And through that, I think it's a principle that as Americans, sometimes we take for granted because of our freedom, our independence, and our belief system. But for them, these were people in a nation that at times didn't exist before the First World War. They had been in exile. And so through this, after the wall, obviously this was a new generation born. And so henceforth a new belief system that had been born to, and also now continues to evolve, just as our forefathers had ventured out and founded our country. And so Wszystko jest możliwe, you'll quite often see my signature and also how I forge ahead. In terms of my professional experience, it's represented with 30 years within hospitality, retail, and also the business sector, with most of my experience being in operations, marketing, and also human resource, along with just brand and business management. The last 10 of those years I spent in the international markets. And so that was leading Starbucks in Europe as president for 3 of those years. And then the last 7 remaining years was president CEO of Chili's, which is a restaurant, partnering with CEOs and also business owners to find ways to grow their business and be sustainable. So today, after 30 years, God's taken me in a different direction. So I enjoy most of my time here in Spokane, Washington, leading as a consultant now. We do have our own business, which is RAM. We chose RAM as a company years ago because of what God had provided Abraham in faith, and also the letters represent our family. R is for my wife, Rachel. A is for my son, Aaron. And then, of course, M for Mike. And so it's near and dear to our hearts. I'm a real estate broker on the side with my wife, which has been such a true joy and blessing to us. And, of course, just having the time with my son has just been something that time has not been my luxury, as most of my time has been spent up in the skies flying over to other countries. And so now, as I also now serve as on a couple of nonprofit boards, I'm looking forward to serving some of the needs of Mercy today as well. So there's an image, and James, I'm assuming we're still not showing image on screen.
We are. We do have an image.
We are. Perfect. Okay. So I'm hoping that, again, I can't see you. But feel free to raise your hands if you can resonate with any one of these images as you run your business. It could be the one on the left that says, "Man, I am drowning," or perhaps it's the Wordle that is filled with confusion, busyness, or even the lack of "I'm out of control" in terms of trying to keep up. And so I'm guessing we've all been in this situation in the room, and we have all felt this way at some point in time. So I have a belief, by not addressing these challenges, that bringing in more ideas, more big concepts, more initiatives, more tasks or strategies will, quite frankly, just make your personal Wordle probably blow up and completely drive you underwater. And so really our hope here through this pilot, and I must tell you, this is a pilot. Our hope is to continue to add value to each one of you as business leaders in the community, is to help you stop, take a look at your business carefully before saying the next yes to the next big idea, or having to say no to an idea that you didn't know would fit within your organization at that point in time that could impact your 4 key results. And I always look at 4 key results as you're growing sales, increasing profits, or bringing back your customers, or engaging your employees, much less talking about some of these big leadership concepts, or getting to your why or your purpose. And so that was shared both by Bud and also Kevin. So here on the screen is really a 30,000 foot view of the objective of the program. And so I, along with Mercy today, will be partnering with some of you over the next 8 to 12 weeks to provide value to your business that we believe will ultimately create the business sustainability and further God's kingdom. Our why is pretty simple, and it obviously comes out of 1 Corinthians here, is that we do all for the glory of God. And as Bud pointed out, is we can't create a or in our life. It's this or this. We have to put in the and in our life, that our life is holistically led by one centered purpose. And so my hope is what I'll be doing is providing some sound perspective and also some clarity that makes a difference for you as a leader within your organization. What I believe are 6 primary areas that I'll be focused on within the business will be the ones that I'm interested, that I believe are pretty foundational. And sometimes we can look at them as fairly basic, but these are things like accountability, prioritization, engagement of your team or yourself or the customers, effectiveness and efficiency, clarity of purpose, and also just your general routines as a team. So while we won't have obviously time to explore these today, as I mentioned earlier, I can tell you that while some of these are most basic in principles in leading a business successfully, they're actually quite often some of the most common ones missed, because we're chasing after kind of this North Star or something larger, but somehow getting these basics right tends to get in our way. Now, this is a pilot, and so I must share that this few areas that this does not provide. And so I want to be clear that while I'm now a consultant by trade, I will not be providing consulting type services. I will not be contracting to provide services within your business or assisting in implementing a process. Mercy Today's vision and also resources through the program are pretty clear. And so it's really through this is really to complement how you're able to successfully navigate your way through what's being introduced each month, such as these settings here. And also, how do you consider pursuing relationships, even as you sit on the screen or in the room there? Or how do you hold yourself accountable now to the insights that you have in your business? Our hope really is in this approach is that you'll have some clarity of what's most important and where do you prioritize your efforts to achieve what God really has in store for you and also your business. And so this breaks down into a few key elements here, and it's targeted to provide what you have been introduced a couple of months ago from Bud in the curriculum through an assessment evaluation. So you're able to see your business's strengths and gaps and get into the success routine that creates some organizational rhythm, and also consider perhaps some one-on-one coaching that would provide an outside perspective or a sounding board. Sometimes it can be lonely at the top, and so having that outside perspective can certainly be helpful. Now, with each of the businesses, we'll choose only one of the top 3 boxes. And so whether it's strategic planning, business organization, or core values and culture, these areas of focus will be assessing only in one area. We'll take a look at the rhythm within your organization that keeps alignment as an organization, collaboration, and also keeps the momentum going. And so through this process, I'll be leveraging an accountability process that is based on a company called Partners in Leadership, which I'm certified with. And it really breaks down the accountability principles down into 4 key areas. One is called See It, and this is really getting the insights. 2 is to own it, so choosing what you're going to go after, then solve it and do it. So rolling up your sleeve so you can achieve that outcome. These are principled, and so the coaching and partnered approach is really geared to leverage the tools to keep our conversations, assessments, our feedback objective, keep it truthful, and hopefully insightful to provide you the knowledge that you're desiring for your next decision with hopefully some deeper wisdom. This is the calendar. And so as I mentioned, this being an 8 to 12 week program, the partnership that brings these see it, own it, solve it, do it principles to life will be based on one of those areas of focus that I mentioned earlier, based on what you see as the needs within your business. My experience in the past has been based on the lack of resources or limited resources in a smaller medium business, having an appetite to take on more than what they can handle generally has far deeper disruption in an organization than being far more laser focused in terms of what they're wanting or needing to go after. So the next steps are pretty clear and pretty simple. And so we've kicked off this week a pilot program with 3 CEOs that I believe are actually in the room this morning. I saw the introductions, and in fact, I saw each one of you 3. And I'm excited to be partnering with each one of them. My hope is that in December, we'll have a chance to provide a report out and a status or progress made update. And so that's the idea, and the hope through this pilot is to continue to enhance you as leaders here as you navigate your way through the program and consider some of the things that are being shared with you. So while I try to speed through this as quickly as I can, I'm sure time is limited here. So I would just encourage you to reach out to James or even Mike Sullivan if you have any further questions. and I'll continue to partner with the three CEOs. And I'm just continue to be blessed and grateful just to be with each of you.